Tell that one-eyed freak if he ever sends you here again, I'm gonna cut out his other eye and feed it to my bird. Obviously, when I first found out what it was, and I found out that it was going to be set in ancient Greece, I was so overwhelmed and I was so happy. All the bedtime stories, suddenly you're like, oh, you're in that, you're part of that. And it was a culture that I loved, basically, as a teenager and a young adult, so being able to be a character in ancient Greece, it was just the best thing imaginable.
Not only play a Greek character, but to play a Spartan character was just a big honor in my life. I'm from a place called Mani, which is of Spartan heritage, and so it was time to honor my family.
I will make him pay for betraying Sparta.
I went back and watched a lot of the old Assassin's Creed games and which characters I liked and related with, and Ezio was one I really enjoyed, and I wanted to take little bits from what he brought to that character, then bring in the character that I thought Alexios would be.
For me, it was strong female characters that I happen to know, that I've met.
You want war?
The motion capture in itself is really fun. I mean, you get to be a warrior, you get to fight, you get to do lots of really amazing scenes. When you get the scripts, they would have branching dialogues, but sometimes we wouldn't go right to the next choice wheel. You'd have to keep going and then try and come back and pick up where you made a choice.
What arrangement would that be?
The hard bit was to find the spectrum of emotions that this character could possibly have, but at the same time not making them schizophrenic. It's hot, I'm in a bad mood, and you are going to pay. You could be aggressive with somebody, you could help them, you could flirt with them, you could ignore them completely.
I'm sure it's possible.
Keeping that in mind while you're doing thousands of hours of dialogue in a voice booth is really complicated. Yeah.
I think what kind of kept it together was saying how they would have dealt with it, each situation. So once we've solidified what it is that makes this character Cassandra, or what it is that makes him Alexios, then it's much easier to pick up. So after about a month or 2 months, then it started rolling much easier. I guess I owe Marcos a little visit.
Talk a little bit about what the process was like working with Michael and you know, crafting these characters side by side with one another.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal experience because he's here, isn't he? I felt you creeping up somewhere.
I don't know what you're talking about. Cassandra would kick Alexios' ass.
You think?
That's the truth.
You think?
I know so.
Okay. I'm not very sure, but okay, if this is what you believe, then we'll stick with this.
My ass.
Okay. In the battle of wits, definitely.
Odyssey isn't just the title of the game, it's also the adventure that we started together over 3 years ago. 400 developers in Ubisoft Quebec City, plus another 400 developers across the world working together.
When we started talking about what we wanted to do with our next Assassin's Creed, ancient Greece became one of those places that was really interesting to us.
We had the chance to go and do research trips. It allowed us to have a few key touchstones that when we were building the game, when we were discussing the game together, we could use.
All of these amazing historical characters, we finally got to take a chance and meet them.
One of the things that Assassin's Creed Odyssey allows us to do is through player choice, which is so important.
How players play that, how they choose to be a nice guy, be a bad guy, lie, cheat. What are you going to do in this historical background?
In Ubisoft Quebec City, because all the different disciplines are here, we really get the chance to work together.
Because it is smaller and because it's always wanted to prove itself, you get a lot of people with like amazing personalities and this drive that you sometimes don't see everywhere else.
We're not as kind of divided up on different floors. We have a much more open working environment. And I do think the physical space that you work in has a big effect on how you work, what decisions you make, creatively what you do.
There's some sort of a family atmosphere when you're looking at the collaboration that you have with other studios.
Bring different cultures together, bring different studios across the world to work together collaboratively to achieve the best we can possibly make.
I really like the title. I think it really describes not only the experience the players are going to have in the game, but also the experience we've had kind of making the game as well.
It's an adventure for players to explore for 100 hours. What I really want them to come out with is that it does feel like an Odyssey for them.
You'll see us innovating in this game more than we've ever done before, with the dialogue, the ability to play as either Alexios or Cassandra, having special abilities. All that stuff combined together really transforms the Assassin's Creed experience.
Over the next few years, we're going to continue to deliver awesome experiences and entertain millions of people across the world.